Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and I am in a different setup, as you can see here in Rachel's setup from Sour and Cosplay, borrowing her setup for a little bit. So I hope everything's working. It's a little jerry-rigged, but if you guys can't hear me, there's issues hearing, seeing anything, please absolutely let me know. I just want to do a stream for you guys to celebrate the fact that my Witcher Season 3 Volume 1 review has by far and away blown away all competition to be the most viewed video on my channel. It just cost 12,000 views this morning. That's insane for my channel. That is utterly insane. So I want to thank you guys, and doing more videos is a little bit difficult, a little jerry-rigged in the setup. So a live stream to celebrate it seemed like the best thing. I have a lot that I want to talk about, but if anyone in the chat wants to drop any suggested topics or anything like that, please absolutely let me know. We've got wide-ranging topics from Indiana Jones failing completely at the box office. My beard is absolutely safe, as well as The Witcher Season 3 ratings coming out, and all sorts of stuff like that. I'm really excited to see what is all going to happen on the stream, but I'm joined, as usual, by Mr. Biggles Metz. Let me add him into the stream right now.
Not even once?
Well, I mean, I've had sex before. Just, never with a person.
Yo, Mr. Floating Head.
Yeah, dude, I'm wearing my G&G shirt. You see the little logo?
I can, yeah.
So I was streaming earlier, and I forgot that I had my green shirt on. So I do this a lot, where I'm the floating head. It's a lot of fun. But you do know your screen is completely black, and no one can see your face. Oh, there we go.
On StreamYards, you can't see my face, or just YouTube?
Now I can see your face, but it was all black, so. You're like, if you can't see me, and it was just black. So.
All right. Yeah, I just changed the resolution and popped it back up to full. So turn it down a little bit, turn it back up. We'll see how that looks for everybody.
So now we can see you.
Beautiful. Were you able to hear me at least?
Yeah, I was able to hear you. You were like bragging that your review on that really shitty show was doing well.
Well. And your video that you edited for me is also doing really well.
Yeah, well, that was punishment enough. Oh, by the way, I left you a comment that says, I hate you for making me watch this.
I believe I love that.
It's the most horrifying thing you've ever done to me, and I don't like it one bit.
You ready for episode 2?
Fuck no. Dude, I'm not editing that. I will cry.
You cry?
I will cry. That is punishment.
That is punishment?
Yeah. Fucking what did I ever do to you?
I don't know. You've done a lot of things to me, man.
It's scary. Nice things.
Nice things? I don't know about that. All right, well, let's just jump right into the topic, because we have some interesting stuff. Oh, I'm getting choppy. Do I look choppy to you, Biggles?
Yeah, you have low resolution, but at least we can see you as a person.
Huh.
Look, it looks like you just focused, and now you're going out of focus. It might just be the internet from where you are, so.
It might be. Yes, I do apologize, chat. This isn't my normal setup. I'm up in New England right now, hanging out with Rachel, so I'm borrowing her setup for the time being.
Yeah, where's her TARDIS? You should yell at her for not having a TARDIS.
Absolutely.
Even though she has a TARDIS costume, that doesn't count.
Doesn't count, absolutely.
She needs a TARDIS right there on the right.
I'll absolutely let her know. But I want to jump into a few topics today, Biggles, and I feel like we chose the absolute perfect one for the first one because you're here. Because as we all know, you've never had sex with a person.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad we get to talk about this, because I want to say stuff. Because
you want to say stuff?
Things to say. Yeah, I have things to say about this.
All right, well, let's just put some context in for the chat. So I've never played the Baldur's Gate games. I know very, very little about them. And this isn't exactly a good introduction to the franchise. So apparently in a new expansion pack or something for Baldur's Gate 3.
No, it's a new game. It's
a new game.
Baldur's Gate 3 has the early access has been out since March of last year, and I've been playing it since March of last year.
I knew some people have been playing it, so I figured it was an add-on, but it was just beta, you're saying?
Yeah, it's early access. You're basically testing the game for them and helping them out. And then like when you first started playing, you wouldn't get like you could skip events by just walking by them, and they're like, oh well, a lot of people end up going a different way and they miss this cutscene and this interaction. Well, now if you decide you want to sneak past that village, you get full experience from instead of killing like the 20 goblins.
Well, with all that, they're doing a showcase recently for Baldur's Gate 3, and apparently you can romance a druid, from what I understand, and the druid has certain abilities that have left some people questioning the morality of this game, and it's freaking some people out. So, chat, here is the context for you right here, and we're going to play it. I've checked. There's no nudity. It just looks like there's going to be.
So this dude right here is a vampire. Melanie Mac called him a twink, but he's a vampire. So he's not a twink, but yeah. All
right, chat, get ready for this monstrosity.
And that's the druid Hassan. When you first meet him, there's like little goblins throwing stones at him. So you can either help him or you can kill him with the little goblin children.
Okay, well, this is only getting better. And as you can see, the showcase included the audience perspective, and they're enjoying this. They're laughing. They're going to start clapping.
The romance scenes are really funny. Like you can kill yourself if so the vampire, you can kill yourself if you let him drink too much blood when you're doing it.
All right, chat, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse.
The squirrel. I didn't see the squirrel. I dropped.
Yes. Squirrel. That is exactly what you think it is, Chad. You can now have sex with a bear in Baldur's Gate 3. Yes, it is a druid who becomes a bear.
It's still a druid.
But look how, like, ooh, come hither, those eyes are from the bear. And the audience is loving this. As much as this is shape-shifting, this is bestiality. Let's not call it anything else. And as much as I'm a big supporter and a lover of Greek mythology, there is, bestiality in it. We all know this. And if you were to do an accurate interpretation of Greek mythology, there would be bestiality. But you're not portraying it as good necessarily or lying about what it is. The people who put this out are saying this doesn't count as bestiality. Yes, it's a shapeshifter, but he's still physically a bear in the moment of intercourse.
Hilarious. I think it's hilarious.
It's so gross. And yes, this person is loving it. It's automatically a 10 out of 10 game. You can have sex with a bear, your game has a perfect score.
Baldur's Gate is already a 10 out of 10 just from the early access. All right. I've played through the story 9 different times with the 9 different characters you can play, and I've never had the same story.
Really?
That's so really good. And you can play with your friends. And I know people are going to like disagree with me because you can have sex with a bear. But hey, when I played D&D, my character was a lion, and all he tried to do was fuck people. So, so whatever.
There's a difference between role playing it and making jokes about it. Because yes,
this is a role play. You don't have to romance the bear.
Imagining it. You're imagining it in a normal role playing setting versus this. Like I play a giant lizard man in the Starfinder things of D&D, and yes, I had sex with a giant lizard woman too. But
no. So this is a role playing game. Every action you choose affects the story. So
there's a difference between there being little jokes about it.
There is like 30 options. 30 options for just the first chapter alone. So there's 30 different stories you can get. That doesn't count the romance. But listen, if you're playing a female, you romance Gale. It's because Gale is the best character. And if you play a man, you romance the shit out of Shadowheart. Any other romance is stupid.
Your argument isn't changing the fact that it's bestiality, Bickles. Like,
it's a druid.
You can have throwaway jokes, absolutely. Like Witcher 3, heavily.
There's probably an option. There's probably an option where you can have sex with him in his human form. Okay.
It doesn't
There's
change the fact
probably an
that it's
option.
bestial. There's a difference between making a joke about it, like Witcher 3. It heavily implies that this old man that you come across is having sex with this goat named Princess. We all know
Hey,
it's happening,
having
but you
sex
don't
with
actually
goats happen
show
all
it.
the time. Okay.
You just can't actually show it, especially in a positive context like this, and especially not marketing the game off of it. I think there's just a lot wrong with this. A lot wrong with it. If there's throwaway jokes, like they're just two characters you know, and it's like, oh yeah, we totally fuck when he's in his bear form. That's a throwaway joke. That's whatever. But they're actually showing it, marketing it off of it, and making it seem like it's a good thing and a cool thing.
Well,
I think it's
so they might
wrong.
actually not show you fucking the bear because it doesn't show you fucking any of the other characters. So this is the joke that they go into it.
It's
but
not
Larian
not a good
Studios,
joke. It's disgusting. I think this is wrong on a lot of levels.
Larian Studios
Even
is
just with
fucking
what we just
amazing.
saw. Even just with that few seconds that we saw, I think this is very, very wrong and completely unnecessary. There's difference between jokes about it, imagining role-playing scenarios for jokes in a actual in-person scenario like you're talking about with your line character, and actually animating it and showing it to people. There's a
Dude, I'll
big
animate it.
difference.
As soon as I'm good enough with Blender, I'll animate it, sell it.
It's not okay.
There's
not
weird
okay.
people that buy it. But
yeah, furries exist, but we don't necessarily condone their behavior.
Yeah, whatever. But give me their money. I don't care. No. My first playthrough, when the game comes out, I am killing the bear character. I am joining the goblins, and I am playing as a dark elf. I haven't decided which class I want to play, but I'm already killing the bear character, and I decided on this before this came out. But there's absolutely nothing that's going to stop me from playing this game. I already
No, I'm not saying that you need to stop playing it.
but-
I'm not saying that's the case at all here. I just think it's inappropriate, especially to market off of it, show it in a showcase, and act like it's something cool.
Well, one of the big things that they've been going on is going off like all the different relationships you can have with all the characters. So like so the what the fuck are they called? The tentacle fuckers. The squid people. Mind flayers. Okay, so mind flayers. So basically you get infested by mind flayers, and if you're a non-elf character, you go to sleep at night instead of going in your trance. So every night you meet this character of your dream. So you design a character that you basically want to have sex with, right? And every night you're tempted by this person, and if you give in too much, I think the mind flayers take over your body or something like that. Like you become one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't done that yet, so I don't know, because I'm usually like, nah, fuck off, bitch. You can't tempt me. But you get new powers every day, and if you play an elf character, you don't get the new powers because you never go to sleep, so you don't have the dreams, and you're not. So you lose a whole mechanic of the game just by playing as an elf. But like they made it easier to like. There's a Githyanki lady, I forgot her name. They made it easier for you to sleep with her or romance her for the party scene, and because it was like nearly impossible to get her, so she was like one of the only relationships you couldn't get. The easiest one is the vampire dude who's about to be fucked by the bear. But yeah, I'm definitely killing the bear in the first playthrough because I want to side with the goblins and side with the absolute, be fucking badass this time. I'm going to kill all the tieflings. I'm going to kill all the druids. I'm going ham. I'm going full evil my first playthrough. It's going to be awesome.
This game still doesn't interest me just like it didn't before this news came out, but I have a lot of problems with this. I think we're just getting too comfortable with bestiality as a society. I mean, they legalized it in Spain or something, and this is just...
I assume it's all they do in Canada.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, jokes about something and the thing itself are very different. So I think jokes are fine. Most people believe that and understand that jokes are different than the actual thing. But animating it to that degree, even what we just saw, I think is substantially too far. I think The
I
Witcher
died
3
laughing with the squirrel. That was funny. The squirrel was funny. It's like, what the fuck? The squirrel was like us. What the fuck is going on? But you can like, there's a way where you would never ever fucking see that. Like,
we're right.
Some people are only going to play Baldur's Gate like twice, and a lot of the times they're not even going to save that guy. So.
No, I understand that. It's just like Witcher 3 and other games that I played where there's a lot of different options, a lot of variety, but it's still something they decided to do. I'm not going to. If I were working for that company, I would refuse to animate bestiality. I straight up would refuse, even if it cost me my job. I'm not animating that shit. And Son of Joxer and Legatus are in the chat. Sorry, I haven't said hello to you guys yet. And yes, the squirrel lost its nuts. Yes, the squirrel did lose its nuts. And I was grossed out by the vampire moves. Bear thing didn't bother me as much. The moves, I don't understand the moves being a bigger issue than the bear, but it's interesting perspective.
I get it. I hate that vampire character. I always want to fucking kill him too. I hate him so much.
I didn't see moves on him, at least in that footage, but I don't understand all this. I really just furries, even in and of themselves, are just a sect of society that I can't wrap my brain around or understand. And this just seems like an extension of that. Even if it is humorous, I think it's a joke gone too far. And as much as I love humor, especially, and you guys know I love very crass humor, very dirty humor, I think this is way, way too far. It's substantially too far. Like it's not even gray for me. I don't even consider what we just saw gray. I don't know. That might just be me. It might just be me, but that is my perspective on this.
So when I buy you this game and make you play the co-op with me, you're not going to fuck the bear, are you?
I'm not going to be playing this game even before.
No, I will buy it for you to play co-op with me. I need you to like get us into trouble where we just like end up.
I don't
robbing
play co-op games.
We'll steal all we'll steal all the money from the tieflings, and then we'll just start like killing them. So what you do, like me and Skizzles, I don't know if you've ever met Skizzles, but he's been on a lot of my streams. But what we did when we first got it, he played a rogue character, and I would go and talk to the people, and then he would steal the money because he'd get a higher roll because they were distracted. So he would be like stealing all their money, and then he got caught, and we had to fight the entire tiefling encampment, and we killed the entire tiefling encampment. It was great.
I just don't play co-op games. That's very much a me thing. So I'm not particularly interested in it to begin with.
Well, it would be like role playing. So we'd be clicking and moving and talking, and then be like, oh, it's kind of like, so I want 4 people, and this way I don't need a DM. Is basically
Wait, is this a top down?
It is D&D. It is 100% D&D.
No, mechanic wise, is it a top down?
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm definitely not interested.
You just like, well, you can change it to where you're behind the character. You're just like clicking and moving, basically.
Let me look at some gameplay.
I have plenty on my Twitch. But it's fucking amazing. Larian Studios is really, really good. Like, one of the greatest games of all time is Divinity 2 Original Sin. And that's Larian Studios. Larian Studios puts in so much work into their stuff. This
just isn't the type of game that I'm attracted to.
They're literally at the camp. There's nothing going on there.
No, just gameplay, UI wise, everything I'm seeing is just not something that appeals to me. Like, this is
story's the most important thing, right?
I can't get into the story if we're in characters like this. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Someone who says story's the most important thing in a video game to them doesn't want a game with a good story.
If I can't get to the story, if I'm struggling with the gameplay, I'll just rewatch the story like in a compilation and love the story and get immersed in the story and enjoy that aspect of it.
But which story are you going to watch?
it doesn't appeal to me, and that's fine. We all just have different preferences on gameplay, but I'm more than happy that these exist. I love that there's a lot of variety when it comes to different types of games, but they don't all necessarily appeal to me, just like they won't appeal to everybody. So I'm very happy that you love this game, but yeah, just looking at it gameplay wise, it just I would
edit
struggle
all
to
the
play with
story
it.
for you. Force feed it
Beautiful.
down you.
Hey, if you want to do that, I would love to do that. If it's a great story, I'm more than happy to engage with a great story. But if I'm going to struggle to this extent where it looks like it's keyboard only, I'm going to be
No,
too
you can plug
pissed
in a
off.
controller.
There's a lot of stuff there at the bottom to be
It's
controlled by.
dude, it's turn-based combat. You'll be fine. It's D&D. You have your initiative rolls, it shows the dice. It's you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, except you don't have a DM. The DM is the game. And you can do a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in knowing the overall story of the Baldur's game because I have heard great things about it, but it's just a gameplay aspect that won't necessarily appeal to me. So it's just not for me, especially with finding out that this is something that they animate. Like with role playing games, if you want to do some weird stuff in your head, that's fine. That's I do weird shit in my D&D games, but animating it, I think more than crosses the line by far and away. And we've got a question here from Son of Joxer. Will I be playing Assassin's Creed Mirage when it comes out? I always wait to play the Assassin's Creed games until they're in the bargain bin. So I don't know. I imagine I will. I love the franchise. It is definitely one of my favorite gaming franchises, with the notable exception of Witcher. It's probably my favorite one besides Witcher. And I am not liking nearly anything I see about Mirage. Yes, it's back to the classic gameplay, but the story is concerning to me. We're playing as a villain. There's someone who looks very much like a trans character training the villain in, what is it, 9th century Jerusalem. I'm not interested in it, but I'll probably play it just to make sure. Whether or not I'm right, I didn't like Valhalla in the end. I did like Valhalla a lot initially, but by the time the story finally wrapped up, because it took 3 DLCs and a free update to actually finish the story, it took them 3 years, I think, 2.5 years to finish the story of Valhalla. That's too much. That's too insane. So Valhalla is firmly in a camp that I didn't like it and I didn't enjoy it in the end. But the previous ones I love. So I'll check it out most likely. I don't know if I'll stream it, Son of Joxer, but I'll at least see if I'm right with the way I feel about the story. But we'll see when we get a little bit closer.
Assassin's Creed died with Black Flag.
Did you not like Black Flag, or it's just peaked?
That's where it died. Because Unity was the most buggy fucking game ever, but they put a co-op in it, which made it kind of cool, but it was like unplayable. And then Syndicate was stupid because it forced you to play like a brawler with Jacob, and Evie was cool. But then you also had to help Karl Marx, so they could go fuck off right there. And then I thought Origins was shit. I don't want to play an RPG fucking
I don't mind
Assassin's
the RPG
Creed
aspects.
where I have to
really enjoy
stay fighting for a long ass fucking time. So that franchise died with Black Flag with me. Fuck it.
For me, I didn't start playing them until long after Unity was fixed. So I've never had a problem with Unity, and I really enjoyed the story of Unity. It is just a retelling of Romeo and Juliet in revolutionary France, but I think that's interesting. That's interesting to me. And yes, absolutely, Black Flag is the peak. Black Flag is uncomparable. The only one that it really compares to it with me is maybe 2. I like 2 more than Brotherhood. A lot of people disagree with me on that, but 2 and Revelations. I love the Ezio trilogy, but yes, Black Flag is obviously very, very much the peak, and it did go downhill after that, but I don't mind the RPG aspects. Origins definitely probably one of my least favorites, but Odyssey, I have a bias. You'll be right back. I have a bias towards Odyssey because I love Greek mythology. So seeing Greek mythology and the Greek era brought to life in such a vivid way, such an interactive way, I just couldn't help but fall in love with it. It's not an Assassin's Creed game, but I still love it. I just kind of have to divorce it from the rest of the franchise. And Syndicate, yes, Syndicate's really weird. Definitely not a good one. But Unity, I don't mind. But you're absolutely right, Wyatt. It's Black Flag is where it's at. You can't get better than Black Flag. And you skipped Unity and Syndicate. You loved Origins and Odyssey. I had a lot of problems with Origins. It was
I hated it.
fine, but they really hadn't figured out the RPG elements of it yet. So the RPG elements were really rough. Unity, I think, is even Syndicate. I think is way better than Origins. I
So
think Origins, besides maybe Valhalla, Origins may be my least favorite Assassin's Creed game.
so people are going to hate what my favorite one is. And it shouldn't be my favorite one, but it is. It's Assassin's Creed 3. Because nothing better than killing the British. Fuck them redcoats. Let's go.
3 has a lot of cool stuff. I also love the Revolutionary War time period in American history, so I love that aspect of it. But there's just something off about it, like the change in mechanics from Revelations to 3 was jank. They figured it out by Black Flag, because Black Flag has very similar mechanics, but they just weren't ironed out yet in 3.
Yeah, it shouldn't be my favorite, but America, fuck yeah. That's it. That's the only reason why. I'm fucking super American, okay? And I'm fucking proud of it. So that's the only reason why I like 3 the best. But which was the second one? Brotherhood for 2?
In the Ezio trilogy, yeah, it was 2, Brotherhood and Revelation.
Okay. So Brotherhood, I played the multiplayer online all the time, which is basically like a hide and seek, where you have to find them and kill them. I was like top 3 players in the world, and it felt like there was only like 50 of us that actually played online, because I was playing the same people all the time. Mm-hmm. So I would like know where they would hide. So that's why I was so good, because I like remembered the players.
Yeah.
And then I think in one of the Splinter Cell games, like the people that play the like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood online were also the same people that would play the Splinter Cell games online. So like I ran into one of them, and they're like, "Hey, we used to play Assassin's Creed together," and I was like, "Yeah, hey, what's up?" So
that's pretty cool. I've never played any of the online co-op aspects of the Assassin's Creed game. I've never played. I don't play online games really at all.
It wasn't co-op. The only one that had co-op was Unity. Yeah, but it was like you were hunting other assassins who were trying to assassinate the other
I was talking about all the online aspects from the entire series. I've never done any of the online aspects from the entire franchise, whether or not that be Brotherhood or Unity's co-op. I like playing games on my own. I don't play Battle Royales besides Fortnite, because Jeremy makes me. I don't play Battlefront. I only play because Jeremy makes me, but most shooters I don't play. Most online I don't play MMOs. I just like playing games in privacy as a relaxing thing. If I'm playing with other people, I'm trying too hard to impress them or be as good as them, worry about that. Gaming I take as a purely relaxive thing, or as an engagement with story, primarily engagement with story, and I like to engage with the story in privacy. So that's why I've always preferred to game on my own and never online.
You need to play online with me so I can troll you. Fucking. Oh, by the way, you keep freezing, so you're just stuck like this.
Am I?
Yeah. But yeah, when I play online with people, I just fucking troll. Unless I'm like trying to actually play tough,
I have something that might fix the internet issues. So if you could distract the audience for maybe 20 seconds.
Yeah, tell me what you want me to distract them with. I'll do it. Because I know if I start talking about the Mets, they're not going to like it. They're going to be like, why the fuck is this guy talking about sports? This kid can't even read. So my name is Biggles. I can't read, but I have audiobooks that read for me. So my audiobooks read Lord of the Rings for me every year. And I'm unable to read it on my own, because I will read the same line over and over and over and over again. And then I am not able to do stuff. And there's Matt Smith behind me. He's a pretty good doctor, but unfortunately, he does not read the books to me. So I am very upset with Matt Smith for not reading all my books for me. I would like Matt Smith to read all my books for me. And then if I was able to read, I would read, but I'm not. So that's why I've never had sex with a person before. And I know that topic very well. No,
Okay.
you're frozen again.
It's gonna take a second for what I did to catch up, but that was quite impressive. I listened to that whole thing, Bickles. That was insane.
Yeah, and I didn't even say a lot like I do when I'm
You
like
didn't. No, you
talking.
just went for it. You just went
Yeah.
for it. But yeah, chat. Let me know if I can. If the internet issues seem to resolve themselves in the next couple minutes. It'll take a second for what I did to take effect. But yeah, I also love audiobooks. Wyatt, audiobooks are great. That's what I grew up doing. Is a lot of audiobooks. But I want to jump into another story since Biggles, you are the hype man for RK Outpost, as you are known as. So you probably love what things were like in the 50s, of course. A little cliche. Some
Yeah, I
women
love
are
the
forced
50s.
to
Can we go
cook.
back? The women dress nicer too.
They
I'm
did.
sorry, but like we went out to Dave and Buster's, and I brought Jock Nerdy because he was in town, and there was this girl who was wearing like I think they're called rompers or whatever, but it
Yep.
looked like she was wearing some like red dress that was like giving her a wedgie, and I was like,
Yep.
what the fuck is this? Why can't you just wear something nice?
I've seen that a lot. I've seen it a lot. It's ridiculous. I agree. People dress better back then, but currently, you're not a big Nolan fan, are you, Christopher Nolan?
Christopher Nolan? Um, I mean, I've watched the Batman trilogy by him, and I think I watched another movie by him, but to be honest, I can't tell you any movies that are his just by his name alone. Like I don't when I watch movies, I don't care who the director is, who the thing is. I want the topic that I like or something
Right.
that yeah. So when it came to they're talking, do you guys want me to put on a colored shirt? I will put on a different colored shirt if I'm creeping you guys out. But I like this floating head thing. It's been funny, and I've been playing with it on my stream all morning. But if something gets me in like a trailer that I want to see it, I'll go see it. I don't care who does the movie. Like James Cameron, I can't tell you a James Cameron movie outside of Avatar because they're like, James Cameron wrote Avatar. James Cameron wrote Avatar. And it's like the most annoying fucking shit ever.
James Cameron did the Terminator movies, the first two, and Titanic. Those are his big ones.
Those are good movies.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to draw you like one of my French girls, Jed.
Exactly. Well, the lead-in I was building up there with the whole, you're like Ryan, sexist, obviously, and
Clearly,
Christopher
it's part
Nolan
of the job.
is Robert Downey Jr., the soy boy himself, after becoming a vegan, is making a political argument around Oppenheimer. He's trying to say that there's woke messaging in it, and it's a good thing. So, according to Oppenheimer actor Robert Downey Jr., men start wars, and the entire planet should be a matriarchy. I know that's a big word for you, Biggles, but matriarchy means women in charge, men not.
Yeah, I know. Gears of War, matriarchy. The locusts are all matriarch. Because the queen. Yeah, I know what that means. I know Gears of War. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, and he said he came to this conclusion while filming the movie. That's insane. That's insane. I'm not looking forward to Oppenheimer if he's taking this away. I hope it's just Robert Downey Jr. being weird. I hope it's just Robert Downey Jr. seeing something that's not there. I don't believe Christopher Nolan will create a political argument around his film. I don't believe that's the case because he's too much of an artist to do it. But there's always the possibility that there is that commentary in it, that it's anti-patriarchy, pro-matriarchy. It would be weird, but this does concern me a little bit. Not a whole lot. I trust Nolan more than I trust what Downey's saying. Downey is no longer the man he used to be after going vegan. I don't know if you've seen what he looks like now, Biggles, but he looks like he's on death's door. He aged 20 years. He looks like
he's 80.
Mm-hmm. It's scary how fast he went down here as soon as he went vegan. But maybe it's going to be the case. I want to get your guys' thoughts in both the chat and Biggles, but are you concerned by these comments by Robert Downey Jr. about going to see Oppenheimer? I doubt you'll see it, Biggles, but
well, I am definitely not concerned because I have no intention of seeing this movie. I know everybody's been talking about Owen Benjamin saying like nukes aren't real. I love Owen. Owen's hilarious. I actually have a piece of his old piano. But I he's been saying nukes aren't real, and isn't this movie about nukes? And that's why people are like freaking out. I don't know what this is about,
So
but I wasn't going to see
Oppenheimer
it.
is the name of the scientist who helped with the Manhattan Project to develop the first atomic bombs during World War II, I believe.
Oh, okay,
I don't know the
okay.
history super well, but that is my interpretation of it. That's what I believe is the story. And why I do agree with you that Nolan, he's an artist at the end of the day. And that's something that's very valuable. And I believe his artistic spirit will push against any studio interference, and he will not allow his artistic vision to be corrupted. I believe that firmly, that he's one of the few directors that I can trust near implicitly. I think it's weird that Robert Downey came to this conclusion and makes me disappointed in the actor, but doesn't necessarily change my opinion. And Son of Joxer has a good point. Oh, go ahead, Ben.
I was going to say that's what happens when you stop eating meat.
Yeah, exactly. And Son of Joxer has a good point in the chat, because the Queens of England has such peaceful reigns. Well, I know you don't know your British history all that much, Biggles, but there is a British queen, a Queen of England from, I believe.
I thought she died.
I'm going into the past in the 1530s, I believe. I believe Mary was the queen in the 1530s. It was in the 1500s at some point. In the 1500s.
She's the Bloody Mary Queen, right?
Yep, she's called Bloody Mary. That's where I was going with this.
So
There's
she
a queen
sounds badass.
She's literally called the Bloody Queen. There's a reason for that. And so, of course, that means that all women in a matriarchy would be amazing and incredible and so exciting. Well,
if they're all like the Bloody Queen, I believe it. That sounds fucking awesome.
It's almost as if gender doesn't necessarily implicitly mean that you're a good person or a bad person, as Robert Downey Jr. is implying here.
I don't know. I'm not seeing the movie.
Yeah. Well, Hail Bard Stories, who just jumped in the chat. I'm sorry, I don't have that set up to fart, but maybe Biggles can make a fart noise for you. I hope that satisfied you, Mustang.
That hurt my face.
It hurt your face. Well, Mustang, if you have any thoughts on this, you're welcome to jump in the stream and let us know what you think about Robert Downey Jr.'s comments. All right, it's been a few minutes since I fixed the internet, or attempted to, so I'm going to turn back on my camera, and you guys let me know how it looks.
That is the creepiest fucking thing ever. I'm screenshotting that and sending it in your Discord.
Is it still creepy? All right, I get. It's still stuck as that. All right, this should. How's that?
I don't know. Hold on, I'm posting this.
Jesus.
Okay, let's see. Sorry.
I should be low quality right now.
Bit. Yeah, you're moving.
I'm moving. Is it choppy?
Yeah, but whatever. You're not like fucking. Oh, look! It was so nice. I posted it twice.
Jesus. All right, we'll try that for a little bit. If not, I can just turn off my camera and leave it that way. That's not a super big deal. I'm not concerned. But yeah, I'll check that out later. Still blurry. Yeah, I turned down the resolution a tad. So if it's too blurry, I can just turn off my camera, whatever the chat prefers. But got Oppenheimer out of the way. Any final thoughts on Oppenheimer? I know you have no intentions of watching it whatsoever, and there's nothing I can do to convince you.
Nukes aren't real. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. I haven't even.
Well, it's an atomic bomb, not a nuclear one. They're a tad different.
So it's different. Yeah,
it's a little different. Yeah. Well, and he tried to replicate an atomic explosion and did it practically for the movie.
Nice.
It's really cool. I'm really excited to see Oppenheimer. I didn't love Dunkirk. Dunkirk is definitely my least favorite movie of his, and it's the most similar to this one. So I might not adore it like I do some of his other films like Inception and The Prestige, but I definitely predict that I'm going to enjoy it far more than anything else except for Mission Impossible this year, I'm guessing. But we'll see.
I don't know what Dunkirk is.
It's a movie that he did.
World War II, right?
Yeah, World War II, I believe, maybe World War I. That it's a movie he made 2017, I believe, is when that came out. But hail Dr. Rachel Lindbergh in the chat. It's great to see you here. I don't know who this person is. I have no idea who this is.
Well, you shouldn't have stole her house then.
I shouldn't have stolen her house. Maybe I shouldn't have stolen her house. That might be a good idea. Yes, Legatus, that is the arrangement here. She's actually standing in the corner right there, staring at me, and be like, "Don't say anything bad. Don't say anything bad. I'm monitoring you." She's my chief diversity officer.
She's got one
Hi.
of those guns where you shoot the balls at them.
Yes, exactly. She's gonna shoot me if I say anything untoward.
Oh, so new topic. Do
Okay.
you like ducks?
I like feeding them.
So we went to Dave and Buster's last night, and my friend is really good. Or no, JJ Knight is very good at getting ducks.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a shit ton of ducks from Jeremy.
Very
the cool
cool.
Jeremy, not the boss Jeremy, the cool one. So I have a bunch of ducks. So I've been going around to my nephews going quack, quack, quack all day. It's fun. There.
Yeah.
That's that subject. I just wanted to show off my ducks because they're all right next to my computer.
Very cool. Yeah, Chet, I see you guys talking about Dunkirk and Tenet in the chat. I thought Dunkirk was good. I thought it was really good. It's just not necessarily the type of movie that appeals to me. There wasn't a whole lot of character work. There wasn't. It was very, very plot heavy, and that's good. It's very interesting, but I've only ever seen it the once, and I definitely preferred Tenet because it was a lot more intriguing from a conceptual standpoint. I think the biggest problem with Tenet was the sound mixing. Oh my god, the sound mixing was terrible. Nichols, there was a sequence on a boat that they decided it was more important to hear the waves than hear what people were saying, even though it was essential dialogue to understand what was happening. Like the whole movie doesn't make sense if you can't make out what they say in this conversation.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I do not remember Dave Tennant's doctor on a boat.
That would be interesting. I would love to see that. And yes, of course, Son of Joxer was correct. People were complaining that there wasn't enough diversity in Dunkirk, even though it was about British soldiers and airmen escaping from the Nazis' push forward in boats.
Oh, it's World War II. If it's from the Nazis, it's World War II, not World War One.
Yeah. It's I believe it is World War II. I believe that is correct. But it might be World War One and not Nazis. It might not be Nazis too. I'm pretty sure it's two, but not 100%.
I don't know. I've never even heard of the movie. I think I heard Jeremy say it once.
Oh,
when Jeremy about
loves
Nolan.
It. Yeah,
and
Jeremy
I was like, Jeremy has to talk about something. I don't care. And I
Dunkirk's definitely my personal least favorite of his movies, enjoyability wise, completely subjectively. Objectively, I think it's better than Tenet, but I enjoyed Tenet a lot more. But I think we need a little bit of a palate cleanser, and this seems a little bit in the same vein as the Baldur's Gate. Afraid not. Oh. But this is an example of a Baldur's Gate joke that is funny and doesn't cross a line.
Stupid bitch. I mean, what? Walk that bitch, doggy.
That's what you call a palate cleanser. That's great.
And then 5 minutes later, the dog's on top.
See, you imply it. You don't animate it. You don't show it.
I will animate the shit out of that right now and make money off these weirdos. I don't care.
At least you admit they're weirdos.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not into it. That is so funny. Someone get me that girl's phone number. I'm going to be like, can you show me how the dog walks you again in real life?
Jesus.
And then take the dog. Be like, time to walk this person. Then put my nephew on a leash. My dog walks my nephew.
Legatus, I'm afraid no hot sauce today. I didn't bring any of my hot sauce on this trip. There is hot sauce. There is ghost pepper in the other room. So if you guys really, really want to do super chats, I can go get some hot sauce, but it's not prepared. It's not my hot sauce, but I think we can make something work if anybody is that dedicated to see me sweat. But Wyatt, I think Interstellar is overrated, to be honest. It's a cool concept. But it could have been executed better. I definitely agree. It could have been executed better. Its explanation is a little muddy. That might be a good thing. Like ambiguity is a very good thing, and Inception really feeds off ambiguity very, very well. I love Interstellar. I adore Interstellar. I haven't seen it in a while, but I do really, really enjoy Interstellar, and I like it a lot more than Dunkirk and Tenet. Not as much as The Prestige or in Inception, but I could see where you're saying it's a little overrated, but A lot of people I know think it's not very good, so maybe it's not overrated. Most people I know don't enjoy it, but I wouldn't necessarily disagree with anything that you said there. But as he's coming back, I want to talk a little bit about some news that I wouldn't necessarily make a video on. Howdy, Biggles. Have you been seeing any of the news about Deadpool?
Ryan Reynolds is not allowed to improvise because he's considered a writer on the show, and the writer strike is going on. I think he should just say fuck them and just do it.
Right. That is an interesting conversation because, yes, he is considered a writer, but who is mandating that he can't improv? That's what I want to find out about because all we heard is he wasn't allowed to. We didn't find out who told him he wasn't allowed to. Because if it's the union, fuck him. He does whatever he wants. But if it's Disney enforcing union rules, that's bad. During a strike, if Disney should say, hey, you want to write for us? That's great. It's called being a scab. If you're unfamiliar with the term Biggles, it's someone who's a member of a union who decides to work anyway during a strike.
Yeah, there were scabs in football, so I know what they are. And it's in the movie, there were replacements with Keanu Reeves. They were scabs.
Perfect. So I fully believe that Ryan Reynolds is more than happy to be a scab. That is what my personal opinion, based on my limited knowledge of his character. So is the union telling him? I doubt it. I believe that it's Disney enforcing union strike rules, and I don't think that's okay. I think Disney should just try to make whatever movies they can within the confines that the strike is made. And if Ryan Reynolds wants to improv, you don't say no to Ryan Reynolds improving. But there's some other stuff as well. Apparently, a few people are a little bit not upset, but not in love with his new costume. Have you seen his new costume?
No.
I'll bring it up right here. It just looks a little bit cheaper than his last costume to me, but it doesn't look bad. And a lot of times these costumes are enhanced by CGI, so this might not be the final look. I think it's a little too pink, a little too bright, but it might work. So here's what we've got. It doesn't look that much different. It's just bright, a little bit too clean, a little bit too sleek. I don't dislike it. I just hope that they're going to do a little bit of fine-tuning in post-production.
Well, what could happen is he could be like, I got a new suit. Because look, that one's darker than the other one. So,
it's lighting.
Like, is it?
Yeah.
So what could happen is that one could like have ripped and he just it's like, I made a new one. I like this brighter red, you know? Like he could make it because it's Deadpool, you know, so he does some weird shit, you know.
Yeah. No, it doesn't necessarily bother me like it is a lot of other people. I think it is very much in line with a lot of his other costumes and a lot better than I was expecting, honestly, because the costumes in Phase 4 and 5 of Marvel have looked so bad for pretty much everyone, whether or not they're completely CGI like they were in Ant-Man, or if they're practically done and look like shit like the Hawkeye ones. They're just all bad. So I'm impressed that this looks as good as it does, honestly. I do have a tad of a problem with the cowl from this angle, like the shoulder pads and the cowl or the hood. It looks a little cheap to me, but I agree with Wyatt. It'll probably look better in the movie. I'm not looking forward to this movie. I wish I was. I love the first two Deadpools. The second one I love a lot more than most people, but it's Disney now. A Disney Deadpool movie, it's supposed to be rated R. They might change their mind at the last moment and make it PG-13, but I believe it's going to be a soft R at best, where they include just maybe 2 F words just to get over the line, but it's not actually going to be rated R in any way that counts. And I'm just not looking forward to it. I don't have any hope that it's going to be good. This costume doesn't necessarily tip me one way or the other in that estimation. What do you think?
I'm not seeing Deadpool, but I would, because I liked 1 and 2, but I'm not seeing Deadpool. I don't want. I've checked out of Marvel. I don't even like. I even like stopped buying most of the comic books, and I'm really close to completely stopping Spider-Man 2 because Spider-Man's turning into dog shit. I mean, it's been kind of dog shit lately, but it's getting to the point where I'm like, no, sorry, I can't buy Spider-Man anymore because Spider-Man's the only thing left on my pull list besides Berserk by Keanu Reeves. Andrew Jones says, loved your Witcher season 3 review.
I appreciate that, Andrew. I'm going to be talking
I-
about some Witcher stuff later on in that episode, and this is part of what the stream is about, is because my Witcher Season 3 review is by far and away my highest performing video by almost 3 times, and that's because of people like you. I really appreciate you being here, and I really appreciate you watching that review, and I'm glad you liked it. Definitely glad you liked it. But,
I didn't watch it, but apparently I've had it on loop for the entire time we've been here. So, oops.
Really?
Yeah, because it went back. It was back at the beginning.
Well, what Andrew was talking about, which we might as well get into now, because all right, the only other Deadpool thing I was going to say is Jennifer Gardner is returning as Elektra. I don't think anyone really cares.
And I heard Ben Affleck might be back as Daredevil.
It's definitely possible, but I do want to talk about a few Witcher things right now since he brought that up. What he's referring to right there, Biggles, is the piece of shit Little Africa show. I believe what he's talking about is the next spin-off of The Witcher, which was currently in production, but they just ended its production. It's called Riff Raff, which is based off the characters known as the Rats from the Witcher books, and it's this diverse group of Robin Hood-esque children who murder a lot of people. Aren't you excited for an 8-episode miniseries about that?
No.
Well, most people aren't. It's just like Andrew's referring to there. Oh, I appreciate that, Andrew. I'm glad you enjoyed it to that degree. And yeah, Ben Affleck as Daredevil, I think, is good. I never loved his movie. I think Charlie Cox is better, but it would definitely be interesting to see him back in a perfect world. And I don't believe this is a perfect world. I think it's going to be shit. But here's this article here from the Redeeming Intelligence. I just made a video on it recently, but the Witcher's Rats prequel called Riff Raff wraps filming early, possibly gets cut short. So it was supposed to be an 8-episode miniseries. It was going to film for 6 months. It only filmed for 2, barely 2 months. That's not a whole lot of time. That's not a whole lot of time whatsoever. And they're filming in South Africa, and they wrapped it early. Originally, we were told that they're completely unaffected by the writer strike because they finished their scripts early. But some people are theorizing that maybe they cut the filming short because of the writer's strike. I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense with the evidence that we have that's been publicly released, because we know they have all the scripts. So maybe rewrites were just that bad. Maybe, and they just can't do it while the writer's strike is going on. They can't rewrite it from the ground up like they'd want to. But who knows? Who knows? I think it's more likely that Netflix is reevaluating their planned investment in the Witcher franchise after the abominable reception to Season 3, Volume 1. Oh, Andrew, you referred to the race walk? Oh, sorry about that. Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were talking about how the Riff Raff is being filmed in Africa. And yeah, it looks really bad. And this character, she was in Season 3. He didn't get that far yet, Biggles. But it's going to be Ciri's lesbian lover. And
nice.
Her hair doesn't look modern at all.
I don't remember Ciri being a lesbian.
She is in the book. Oh, she's bi in the books. She has sex. She does. This character is her canonical lesbian girlfriend temporarily in the books. I just think they're going to co-opt it in a negative way and make it.
I haven't got that far in the books then.
Yep. They're 100% going to make it super woke. That's in the 3rd novel, Baptism of Fire, Biggles.
Oh, I'm not there yet. Okay.
That's the 5th one overall. And yeah, Son of Joxer, who lit the Witcher spinoffs. The shows aren't that popular, and that's something I'm gonna bring up in just a moment here. The viewership for Season 3 is utterly abysmal. But off the success of Season 1, off the back of the ending of Game of Thrones and everyone believing that The Witcher was the heir apparent to Game of Thrones, they only greenlit as Seasons 2 and 3. They greenlit an animated movie, which I actually think is pretty decent. There's some lore issues, there's some monster issues, but the character work is pretty solid. And they also greenlit Blood Origin, which we all know was hot, steamy garbage. They're doing the Rat spinoff, as well as there's going to be another animated movie called Sirens of the Deep, but it's about mermaids. Mermaids or sirens are different in pretty much every culture in the world besides France, which is weird. France doesn't have a distinctive word between sirens and mermaids, and that's how the distinction happened, apparently. The Witcher's writers' room were using an unofficial translation from France, is our guess, because France doesn't differentiate for some reason. So they're just not very smart. Not very smart.
I got in a fight with someone over sirens. I was like, listen, the only people that I've ever seen that so mermaids for some reason are now all sirens in like so many games, and I was like, no, they're not sirens. Sirens are bird people.
Yeah, they're very different. Functionally, look-wise, origin, mythology, location. They're the only thing they have in common is boob fish people.
Boob fish people.
Yeah, most of them have boobs. That's about the closest thing that they have in common. And they will like water. Boobs and water. That's the only thing mermaids and sirens have in common.
Boobs and water. Oh, because the sirens sit on the cliffs outside and
Yep.
sing you to the death. Okay, yeah. So sirens. Fun fact about sirens, since we're on there. There's two different kinds of sirens. There's the sirens that are like raw and like Egyptian, where it's like the head is the bird, and then there's like Homer's, where the bottom half is the bird.
Mm-hmm.
And the Egyptian one is actually more popular.
Really?
Yeah.
I spoil. I mean, no, it comes to no surprise to anyone, but I prefer the Greek version, the Homer version. I'm sure everyone is totally shocked by that. But why ask, do you think there's going to be another season after season 3? They're currently working on filming season 4. I believe they actually are. Let me see. The Redeeming Intelligence had the article about it, so let me scroll down a little bit just to make sure. But I believe they are filming season 4 right now with Liam Hemsworth. And there's just a lot of season 3 news right now. But yeah, they're already working on season 4. And there is a confirmed season 5. It's been renewed for season 5. So I think season 4 and 5 were going to be filmed back to back. So that made everyone believe that it was just one season split into 2, which is something that shows do as they're dying, which makes a lot of sense. But because of the writer strike, they hadn't quite finished the season 5 or the 4 part 2 more accurately scripts yet. So they just went into production with what they had for season 4, and it's probably going to delay season 5 because of the writer strike. That's a writer strike delay at Netflix. That makes sense. I just don't think the riffraff delay makes any sense whatsoever. Let me just search for it. Season 4. Because yeah, I'm almost certain they're filming season 4 right now with Liam Hemsworth. Turns for season 4. Yeah, Zoltan's been cast. All right, so they're close to filming. Writing begins. All right, so yeah, it looks like they're close to filming, but they haven't actually started yet, is what it looks like. But I think we're going to get season 4. I don't necessarily think that maybe Riff Raff may not come out. Sirens of the Deep may not come out, but I think we're pretty well, the train's moving too far for season 4 to get canceled. But I don't think we're getting to season 5. That's my personal opinion, but I just really hope that that's not the case. I really wish I was wrong. But are you looking forward to the diverse group of murdered hobo children prequel to The Witcher, Biggles?
No.
No?
Not even looking forward to this season of Witcher. After season 2 of The Witcher, and they gave me so much Nilfgaard, I never wanted to watch that show again. And then when you're
there's
like,
so much more Nilfgaard in season 3. Amir's in half the season so far.
and
There's
you were
way too much.
and you were like, I need you to edit this for me. And I was like, okay. And it got so bad that like after 20 minutes of the show, I just skipped to the end and went right to the end of the thing. I didn't even care about anything else. I was like all the way to the end, and you're like, make sure you still get the funny part. No, I'm not doing it. Not doing it.
Nilfgaard wise, I don't know if I've told you this already, but what happened to Frigilla? Did I tell you what happened to Frigilla in season 3?
You said something about her like becoming like a slave or something, and then she like just walked out even though she was like chained up or something.
Yeah, pretty much. But she was the king's wine tester with a bunch of other people, and apparently, or the emperor, excuse me. Apparently, the emperor drinks enough wine to nearly kill 7 people, and she's sobbing like, "Don't make me drink any more wine." And they force the wine down her, and someone dies of of alcohol poisoning next to her, and so she pretends to be the dead body, and somehow she sneaks out. Even though, how did she get uncuffed? Who knows? And then the first thing she does is go to a pub and keep drinking. If you nearly die of alcohol poisoning that you don't implicitly choose, someone is force feeding you alcohol, you nearly die of alcohol poisoning, maybe a tavern isn't the most logical place for you to go,
That's
or
where I
the
would
most
go.
sound place to go. I just don't think it makes any sense. But the thing I was referring to is, according to Forbes, the viewership for The Witcher Season 3 dropped sharply. So the numbers in this article say that from the premiere of Season 2 to the premiere of Season 3, it was down 15%, which isn't terrible. It's still really bad, but it's not terrible. The really bad thing is that from episode 1 to episode 5 of Season 3, the viewership dropped by 60%, Biggles. More than half of the audience didn't even get halfway through the season.
I'm part of that 60% that didn't make it to the season.
It's true. It's true. That is really, really bad. And so viewership numbers like that, I think, is a good explanation for why the Rats might be at least delayed as they reconsider the investment they put into it. Because as I've talked about in other videos and streams, it looks like the Witcher franchise, just production budget wise, with all its spin-offs, the main series and whatnot, is nearing $1 billion. That's not counting rights. That's not counting marketing. $1 billion in production budget. That's really, really bad. For this season alone, the reported budget that we've got is well over 100 million. That's insane. That's insane for the low quality. All the wood looks like plastic. The leather's all pleather. And Geralt eats macaroni and cheese in episode 1 because they can't afford to make actual food.
Yeah.
Where's the money going?
So the funny thing is, I was on with Ryan last week, like last Saturday or last Sunday, and The Witcher was so irrelevant that we didn't even talk about it, other than the part where I was like, man, I had to watch one episode of The Witcher and I thought we were going to talk about it. So I was going to be like, this is the dumbest shit ever. And we didn't even talk about it. And I don't even know if I said that on stream or if it was right after the stream when he ended it.
Yeah, Ryan's been talking a little bit about the viewership numbers, but I don't think he watched the show and he doesn't know anything about the books. So he's a good source for a lot of the analytics, a lot of the data portions of it. But yeah, I don't think he has any interest in talking about the content of the show whatsoever. But I'm impressed about how irrelevant this show is. As much as I expected the show to be terrible, as much as I expected to hate it as a book fan and just, general quality wise, I believed it was going to be terrible. I'm surprised, honestly. I believe that the popularity of Henry Cavill would keep the series at least relatively on top or popular until the end of his run. I thought season 3 would do decently, a lot, not nearly as good as season 2 or 1, but definitely really good. But this is shocking me. How many people are just giving up? How many people just don't care? And it's very vindicating to me because a lot of people previously is like, Henry Cavill's amazing, so the show's amazing as long as he's in it. That's not even enough to keep people invested. The people who have seen it are saying it's terrible with Henry Cavill or without him.
I watched less than an hour of the hour-long episode, and I was like, this fucking sucks.
It's terrible. But
well, after season 2, so season 2 was complete and utter dog shit, right? I did not like season 2 at all. And I was like, who gives a shit about the Nilfgaard politics and the fucking elves? All right? Let's see some Henry Cavill. Give me Ciri. And I don't give a shit if it's all Yennefer because I like looking at her. Like I will watch a show called Yennefer where it's just her the entire time. Don't put any other characters. I don't care if she's just walking around. I will watch it. But like the Nilfgaard shit was so fucking boring. And I think season 2 was what really fucked season 3 because season 3 does not get better than season 2.
No,
it's
worse in my opinion. It's worse in my opinion. A lot of people in the comments of my review disagree with me, but I think it's worse. That's my opinion, but I think it's worse.
Well, season 2 was really fucking bad. So they probably were already checked out of 3 and didn't realize how fucking bad season 3 is.
Maybe. But as we've mentioned a few times, I want to plug it real fast. Biggles edited a video for me. So me and a bunch of other YouTube creators that some of you may be familiar with watched The Witcher season 3 together behind the scenes and recorded it. He edited it down to 15 minutes or so, at 12 minutes to release publicly and not worry about the copyright and get it down into a good little quippy video. But if you become a member any level on Hollywood Scholar, you get access to the full hour-long video of us watching it, and it's just a descent into madness. If you're interested in that, become a YouTube member, and you'll see how devastating the show was. And Biggles wasn't even able to watch the whole thing, and he had to edit it. So it's entertaining because we get drunk. I said at the beginning that every time they say "dear friend," I'd take a shot. I did. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. So if you want to see that, definitely go become a member and check out that video. Or if you want a little bit of a condensed version of it, check out the video that Biggles just dropped in chat. I believe that is the right video for that. And see the great video that Biggles edited for me. But I want to talk real fast about the Rotten Tomatoes. So as I always have to put out as a caveat, Rotten Tomatoes isn't 100% reliable. It never really has been, but especially in the last 4 or 5 years, it's become less
since
reliable.
Captain Marvel. Since the Captain Marvel movie, they changed it.
That's really when we saw this change, and they even talked about the change. But it is a little bit interesting. This score for Witcher Season 3 is lower than Season 2 from a critic standpoint. I actually want to bring that up. Let's see if I can put it up here. So the critics gave Season 2 a 95% and Season 1 a 68%. As much as I didn't like Season 1 from a book standpoint, there were pieces of quality in it. I will freely admit that there were good things about Season 1.
Season 1 was the best season.
Absolutely. But they've got an opposite of what people are thinking. The normies out there love Season 1, okay with Season 2, and Season 3 seems to be generally disliked.
Season 1, you got to see Yennefer's boobs.
That's true, until she got in her contract that she won't do that anymore. But it's always funny to see how the critics are generally opposite to fans. So I always look at the fan score, and the fan score is relatively reliable most of the time. Maybe not the overall, but actually clicking on it and reading reviews, most of the time it's okay. Sometimes you have to do finagling. It's a lot more work than you'd like to do to find out the truth behind these reviews. You have to check if they've reviewed any other things. It's usually a lot more work than it's worth, but it is still an interesting method. It's still an interesting metric, if nothing else, to see how people are responding to it. But this is a lot of low-star reviews. And look at this one. I laughed when I saw this. Wasn't good as the last season, but was still impeccable. 3.5 stars.
Well, the funny thing with this is, so no matter how bad you write a review, be like, this is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. Like, it makes me want to vomit when I go there. Thumbs up. It counts as a good thing towards your.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and there
this
was
person. Go ahead.
There was this guy that I was asking him how like Rotten Tomato worked, because he's like one of the certified critics or whatever on Rotten Tomato or whatever, and I was like, how are all these people saying it's less than a 10 out of 10? Or like, this is a 6 out of 10. Why is this 100%? It's like, well, they all actively clicked that this was a good movie. And I was like, you guys said in your reviews that it wasn't a good movie. Why is this 100%?
Yeah,
I was like,
metric,
even your review said it. So.
Yeah, the metric for the critics is a little bit different than the audience. From what I understand, the critic algorithm is if you give it above a 50%, it's positive. It's below 50, it's a negative, and that's all that it calculates, yes or no. And that's all that goes into it. So if 100% of critics say it's above a 5 out of 10, it gets 100%, which is manipulative to say the least. That is so inaccurate. That's insane. Audience reviews are a little bit more nuanced, but not much more so. So this person here that I clicked on the profile for has never reviewed anything besides Witcher Season 3, gave it a 4.5 out of 5, and said it's by far the best first half of a season so far. What happened? It's so slow and boring. As much as I despise Season 2 and dislike Season 1, they're not as bad as this one. They're not as bad as this one. But
Henry Cavill's letter should have been like, "Dear friend, shoot me now."
Shoot me now. Absolutely. But these, you can tell pretty easily who are the real reviews, because what they're saying. The positive reviews are usually a little bit AI looking like. Not always. There are genuinely people who love it. I know people in my personal life who love it, so I don't want to make any broad statements about that.
I will say broad things about them. What the fuck were you watching that you like it?
What the fuck are you watching? Well, and something interesting here. Yes, the critic score is 85%, but at least the last time I checked, the top critics, we're at 100%. 100%. And look at that. So, yes, it's at 100% for top critics, but it's only a 6.8 out of 10. That
So
is
they're
the
saying
actual
it's a
out of 10.
below average movie if it's like school wise.
This is manipulating people who don't understand how Rotten Tomatoes works. These top critics are actually saying it's a 6.8 out of 10, but it comes out on top as 100%. It's 100% over 5.5 out of 10. That doesn't mean it's a 10 out of 10 movie, but that's how Rotten Tomatoes presents it to the audience, and it's entirely manipulative, and I think wrong on a lot of levels. And on the audience side of things, it's a 2.3 out of 5, but only 33%. It's weird. Rotten Tomatoes is entirely manipulative. That's why you have to go to so much additional work to find out what people are actually saying. It's
So I have a
insane.
question. Why are the
Mhm.
critics 1 out of 10 and the audience is 1 out of 5?
I don't know. That's weird. They're doing so many weird different things that it doesn't make
I
a
don't
whole
like
lot of
Rotten
sense.
Tomatoes. Where's
Rotten
one that
Tomatoes.
actually gives us percentages?
Well, look at this here. The tomato meter says the top critics say it's 100%, but it's actually 6.8 out of 10. Well, for all critics, it's a 7.1 out of 10, but 85%. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense. Yes, there were 6 people who said it was rotten, so 6 people who said it was below a 5 out of 10. That doesn't mean that the score should be lower, even though the overall score is higher. Rotten Tomatoes is a garbage platform, and it takes so much work to find out any information about what people are actually thinking. But there is something that I want to talk about, and Biggles, you're actually a good person to talk about with.
I
What?
sent you something in the private chat.
So yeah, Metacritic is a lot better usually than Rotten Tomatoes. It still has some biases in it, but this is a better way of looking at it. 7 out of 10, very close to that 6.8 or that 7.1, and the user score 2.5 out of 10 or 5.
I don't know.
It looks like it's the same data, but it's presenting it in a less manipulative way, and I think that's an important thing.
I just Googled ratings on Witcher season 3, and that was the one I came up with. So I don't actually know anything about it.
Yeah, Metacritic is a legitimate
It's out
platform.
of 10. It's out of 10.
Mm-hmm. It's out of 10.
Out of 10. That sounds about right.
It does sound about right.
That sounds like it's being a little too generous in my book.
It's being a lot too generous in
That's
my
how
opinion.
bad I thought this season was.
Well, we have some information about season 3, volume 2 that I want to talk about with Biggles because he actually knows Doctor Who to a certain extent, so he might have some interesting perspective on this. So you know that Liam Hemsworth is taking over the role of Geralt, correct?
Yeah, what does that have to do with Doctor Who?
I'm getting there. So most people assume that they would just recast the role similar to how Marvel does it and just kind of ignore the recast and just pretend that everyone's still seeing Henry Cavill or whatever. Like the characters don't pick up on it. Well, apparently they're writing in the change to the story. It's not going to be just James Bond where they just ignore it. They're going to go the Doctor Who route and write it into the story. The Witcher has a Doctor Who-like lore plan to change Cavill to Hemsworth. That's insane. That's insane. This is something that a few people have mentioned as a potential theory, but recently that was disproven. So in Volume 2, there's going to be a big fight. I don't want to go into too depth spoilers, but there's going to be a fight. Geralt is damaged to a certain extent. He's very, very injured. So he has to go to the forest of Brocculon to the Dryads to heal up. He has to be healed. And so some people are thinking
in the video I edited.
We haven't seen that episode yet. We haven't actually seen that yet. That's not out yet, but I may have mentioned it. And the theory is that he's going to get so scarred in the fight that the new face is Liam Hemsworth. That it's just like after the damage scars, after what the Brocculon Dryads do, he ends up looking like Liam Hemsworth. But according to this article from the Retaining Intelligence, they're not going to do that. They're not going to use Brocculon to change Henry Cavill into Liam Hemsworth. So how are they going to do it? Because yes, he does get healed during Volume 2. So
holy shit. Geralt is a Time Lord. He's going to regenerate.
Well, I want to read these comments by the executive producer who is talking about their plan. So he said, "We have a very, very good plan to introduce our new Geralt and our new vision for Geralt with Liam. I don't like the sound of that because obviously they don't like the lore and they don't care about it. So whatever they're going to come up with is going to be insane. Not going deeply into those ideas because that would be a huge spoiler, but it's also very, very close to the meta ideas, which are deeply embedded in the books, especially in book 5. Now, I have a big problem with this because there is no lore explanation that I'm familiar with, at least, that would even begin to justify a face swap. And the meta ideas that he's talking about is there's some time travel elements, there's some multiverse aspects of it, and randomly in the books, it uses these really interesting narrative devices to tell you what's going on. For example, I believe in Baptism of Fire, it might be Tower of the Swallows, but Dandelion starts writing his book, Half a Century of Poetry. And we get snippets of that in the previous books, like excerpts from it in the previous books, but he actively starts writing it in the story in Baptism of Fire, I believe. I'm just going to go with that, but it might be Tower of the Swallows. And at one point, he loses some chapters in a cave. And then it cuts to a scene several hundreds of years in the future when near modern archaeologists dig up that cave and find his lost chapters of Half a Century of Poetry. And that, I think, is what they're referring to, the meta aspects. But none of that is remotely like this. And in book 5, that depends on if they're talking about how it is. With the Witcher books, the numbering system is a little bit confusing because there's 2 collections of short stories that aren't novels. They're not part of the actual series. You do need to read them, but they're not considered part of the actual series, the novel
That's
series.
What season 1 was about.
Yes, that was season 1 adapted both of those. Well, said they adapted it. So do they count Baptism of Fire as the 5th book, or do they count the last book, which is the 5th novel, which is called Lady of the Lake, as the 5th book? I'm not familiar with anything in Lady of the Lake that would be a little bit more meta than the example that I gave for Baptism of Fire. I believe that is the most meta it gets. So I believe that they're talking about Baptism of Fire, especially because that's the next book that season 4 will supposedly be adapting. So I have no idea what they're referring to here, but it does get a little bit worse. It's very lore accurate, said the executive producer. It's very close to what was set out in the books, and I think this change will be quite flawless. Wow, way to toot your own horn there, mister. No, there's no lore accurate explanation for this. So are you excited for Time Lord Geralt, Biggles?
Dude, I would love to see Henry Cavill come out of a TARDIS. Okay?
That would be cool.
Have the new Doctor die in his first episode and replace him with Geralt. And just have it be Geralt. Don't even have Henry Cavill as like the Doctor. Have him come in as Geralt coming out of the TARDIS. Just do it. Just be like, yeah.
I mean, they're so uninterested in giving us The Witcher, so at this point, making it Doctor Who in The Witcher seems way more accurate to the source material than what they're actually doing. So maybe we
need to reach out to the modders and have them make a Doctor Who mod of Witcher 3, but have Geralt as coming out of a TARDIS.
Don't tempt me, because that sounds amazing. If they do that for the Fallout games, I gotta reach out to the people. I actually know some of the people who did the Fallout mod. I'm gonna reach out to them and see if they can make a Witcher 3 version of their Fallout mods for Doctor Who, because that would actually be fucking amazing. That would be incredible. But hail Heather S. I don't believe you've been in the chat before, so welcome. The Witcher is going downhill. Yes, it is absolutely going down the hill. At this point, they're saying that they're going to go Doctor Who route to recast Henry Cavill to Liam Hemsworth as Geralt. I didn't think they could get stupider or more insane. They should have gone the James Bond route. If they had to do this, I think they should have just canceled the show without Henry Cavill. But if they decided to press on, the James Bond route was the best way to go, where they just kind of ignore it. And they kind of sort of share continuity, but no one really mentions it. And I think that would have been the best way. Or if not, the Marvel route, where they might start with an opening joke like they did with Rhodey in Iron Man 2, where they're just like, yes, I'm here. Let's get over it and move on. And just made a quick joke about it. I think one of those options would be far, far better than pretending to make up a lore accurate reason for the recast. It's utterly insane, in my opinion. And I don't like Liam Hemsworth as Geralt at all. But to be fair, I didn't like Henry Cavill as Geralt to begin with. His screen test that he did initially looked terrible. I hate that screen test. But as soon as the trailer came out for season 1, I changed my mind on him. I started to think, yeah, maybe he's actually a good casting. He doesn't look good in season 3, but in season 1, it's like, all right, He cares about the role. He looks good. He sounds good. Maybe this will be good. So I might be wrong about Liam Hemsworth, but as of right now, I don't think he's good casting with or without the whole drama and the whole abysmal writing situation that we have going on at Netflix right now.
Isn't he the least talented Hemsworth?
I don't know. It would be an argument between him and what's his name, Luke from Westworld. I don't know. I'd say he's more talented than Luke, but I've only ever seen Luke in Westworld, so maybe not. And he was good in Hunger Games, but there's a big difference between Hunger Games and The Witcher. A lot different requirements from actors, and it's different leading a television show with this massive of budget versus being a barely above an extra in those movies, because his character in the Hunger Games doesn't have a whole lot of import out of the first one. I think the first one he has by far the most screen time. So maybe he'll do a good job, maybe not, but at this point it's irrelevant as long as those writers and Lauren Hissrich specifically are still involved with the franchise. And that executive producer seems like an asshat who has no idea what he's talking about. None whatsoever. But
most executive producers seem to be like that.
It's true.
I think it's part of their, like, you want to be an executive producer, you have to be a douchebag. that being said, true. I technically have an executive producer on 2 shows.
You do now.
Well, one's a comedy special, and then the other one is I have executive producer credit for the Blue Mountain State Rise of Thadland, because like anyone who went in on the contest and the GoFundMe gets a executive producer. So
very interesting.
3, because technically my Justice League shirt says executive producer on it. It's for the Zack Snyder thing.
Mm-hmm.
Before you went all, I am not associate with Geeks and Gamer, and he'd be kicking it even more of a douchebag. It's like, fuck you guys. How dare you come on their channel and then talk shit about Geeks and Gamers? Even though it was Uche's channel, but...
Yeah. Well, I think that's enough Witcher for right now. There's a lot of drama going on with it, and it's not getting any better. So we'll see what happens with Volume 2, and I pray that the ending of the production for Rats or the Riff Raff and the potential holding off of season 4 will signal the cancellation of the show. I hope they just give up after Henry Cavill leaves in Volume 2. Because I don't know if you heard about this. I talked about it in my video, Biggles, is Netflix started marketing the show. They put up billboards and stuff that said, yes, he's still Geralt in season 3. They were marketing up the show like that. I feel like that's very awesome. Desperate. That feels very, very desperate to me.
That's awesome.
But yes, Dr. Rachel, the chair isn't broken. I can sit it like, this is just comfortable. All right. I like putting my arm up like this. Judge me, sue me.
See, now I'm just floating hands with the floating hands in the head.
All right, Rachel, I'm gonna sit like this even further because he said that. Yep, and we got floating head Biggles. All right, let's
floating head Biggles.
Let's move on to another disaster, another thing that is crashing and burning in both a financial and a viewership sense. We've got Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Have you watched that yet, Biggles?
I haven't even watched the first one.
That's disappointing.
I've never seen an Indiana Jones movie.
All right, looks like I'm going to be doing this section solo, chat, because anyone who hasn't seen the incredible 3 Indiana Jones movies doesn't deserve to be on this channel. But it looks like we have some information about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. But we'll get Biggles' thoughts anyway. We'll still let him talk.
So, I don't like this guy's facial hair or his face. Yeah, if I knew this guy was making a movie, I'm not going to go see it. Look at him.
To be fair, he has made some good movies. Ford versus Ferrari, I think, is amazing.
His face,
and I like Logan. I like Logan a lot too.
Oh, Logan was a good movie, but his face.
Yeah, he directed this.
I wouldn't watch Logan now ever again.
Because of how big of a failure Indiana Jones is, James Mangold has come out and said the fans are divisive. It's a weird weird comment, but I wanted to briefly mention it because right after
What does divisive mean?
divisive means that a lot of people disagreeing vehemently with each other.
Oh yeah, that's on any single subject on anything.
Pretty much. But soon after this, Harrison Ford, I couldn't find the video. Sorry, chat. I was going to look for it even further if I can. Harrison Ford came out and thanked everyone who did watch it. They were very fan-oriented, very similar to how Tom Cruise talked during the promotional campaign and before the movie came out for Top Gun Maverick. It feels very desperate at this point because before the movie came out, he was aggressively attacking the fans. James Mangold was aggressively attacking the fans. So having Harrison Ford come out and beg for people to go out to the movies seems very, very desperate. But things get worse for it because, as we see from the box office this last weekend, yes, it was number one at the box office the weekend it came out, but not by much. It only grossed $94 million. Biggles only.
I thought Sound of Freedom beat it.
On Tuesday. We're going to get there in just a second.
Okay.
So on actual Independence Day, Tuesday, July 4th, Sound of Freedom did beat it, but just for that single day. Just for that single day, Sound of Freedom got 14 million and Indiana Jones only got 11 million. That is really bad. Indiana Jones is crashing and burning in impressive fashion. And Biggles, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but on another one of my shows, there was a bet that if Indiana Jones crossed $1 billion, I would shave my beard. I feel pretty safe. I feel pretty confident that I'm going to be, my beard is safe. It is not in danger whatsoever because it's got a lot of ground to make up and there's no way it's going to happen because its drop off is getting worse. And I can't wait till the weekend finishes this in the next few days to see how much the drop off continues because yes, this is Saturday. We'll probably get some of those initial drop offs tomorrow or Monday to see this might be another 60-70% drop. And from where they started, that's really, really bad. But briefly talking about Sound of Freedom, I haven't watched it. I don't necessarily plan on watching it because it has very dark subject matter that I don't feel like I am in the right state of mind to engage with. I don't know if you're going to see it, Biggles, or have seen it, but for the people who, like me, believe that it is a very important movie because it's child trafficking. Who disagrees with child trafficking being an important subject and it being a very, very bad thing? Yes, the Rolling Stones and Jezebel.
The Guardian.
They think it's alt-right to watch it. So I think it's very important that the movie exists. I just don't think I should watch it. So that's why I just wanted to briefly say the website for the Sound of Freedom movie, I believe it's angel.com. You can buy a ticket for somebody else and pay it forward because it's uncomfortable for a lot of people to watch. So that's a good way of bridging the gap between what's happening, and it's just really important. So I just wanted to highlight that real fast before we talked a little bit more about Indiana Jones. But did you watch Sound of Freedom?
No. I'm not going to watch something on that stuff.
Yeah, it's difficult subject matter, so I don't blame anyone, and I just don't feel like I should watch it. But it's definitely an important movie that anyone
buy someone else to take it for it.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea for a movie like this. But Paul in the chat says my beard will live forever because this film won't make that amount ever. I agree with that. I believe I am firmly safe in that. And yeah, I want to move on to Indiana Jones. Overall, it has gotten 171 worldwide in its first week of release. In a full week, it only crossed 171. That's really bad. And from the reports that we've got, it probably needs to make, at least being generous, $900 million to break even. I think it's going to be impressive if this movie gets over 350 or 400. That, I think, is going to be impressive at this rate. But let's see. There might be a Friday to Friday drop-off here. Let's see. Friday to Friday. Friday would be the 29th through the, what is that, the 6th. Only a 4% drop from the previous day. But yeah, it's dropping. It's already dropping. All right, here it is. The week drop off. 68%. 68% Friday to Friday. Do you see that, Biggles?
Yes, I see it.
It's at a 68% drop Friday to Friday. Now, the Friday to Friday drops are a little bit larger usually than the full weekend to weekend drops. So we might be looking at more a 65% weekend to weekend drop. But considering where they started at, this movie is doomed Doomed. I believe I'm being incredibly generous with that $350, $400 mark, but it's saying it's tracking above predictions right here because the predictions were just so bad. But has anyone in the chat watched this movie? I have no intentions of watching it, especially because of the historical stuff they do. I do love Indiana Jones. It's not one of my big franchises, but I do care what happens to the character. And I'm not interested in whatsoever. And I don't like them going back to ancient Greece, ancient Rome at all, because I have a big connection to those. So I doubt I will ever watch this movie. But Nicholas, is there any way I can twist your arm and make you watch it?
Well, so I'll watch it just to help them reach the number that we need to get you to shave your beard.
Rewatch it a few times.
I may never watch the other Indiana Jones movies if this is my first experience with it, but your beard is going. Even if I got to spend $1 billion myself, I will find a way to steal all Elon's money and buy $1 billion worth of tickets, and then shave your beard myself.
I'm glad to see you're so dedicated, man. I'm very happy to hear that. But there's not much more I want to talk about with the box office for this weekend. Indiana Jones is Crashing, Burning, Sound of Freedom is doing really well because I believe its budget was $15 million, and just domestically this last week it made $27 million. That's really good for a movie like this. Its break-even point, I would say, is 35, maybe. That would be my guess. Its marketing might be a lot lower than that. We'll see, but it's either broken even or very, very close to it in just a week, which is a good sign. And I think it's just a testament to how people are seeing the movie industry right now, is they want something that's good. And from what I hear, Sound of Freedom is just really good and really important. This is how you do social commentary in movies. This is how you do it. It shows something that is an actual problem that no sane individual should be on the opposite side of, that isn't creating lines on political stuff. It's creating lines in human safety. And that shouldn't be divisive at all. It shouldn't be divisive at all. And it just shows you all the psychos out there who are saying you're a bad person for watching it. You're alt-right for watching it. You might not be able to watch the movie. That's totally fine. You don't have to want to watch the movie. But saying you're alt-right is just insane. But I think this is a great example of how the occasional, this shouldn't be universal. We shouldn't see every movie coming out like The Sound of Freedom or covering subject matter like this. But this is how you should do it. If you're inclined to do so, this is how you do commentary. But Paul, you're not going to watch it. Already watched all 3 Indiana Jones movies, and we'll watch them many more times. Absolutely. There are 3 Indiana Jones movies. There's no movie called Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I have no idea what that is, but the first 3 are impeccable.
It's an alien fanfic.
Yes, it's an alien fanfic. But Biggles, I would definitely recommend Indiana Jones. I know you haven't seen a whole lot to begin with.
Ryan told me I should watch it too. So
yeah,
maybe
maybe eventually. At some point, we're probably going to be doing Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first one, for Saturday Night Drive-In. And little plug here is for my channel members. So I do this show every Saturday. Normally would be doing it right now, but Adam the Renaissance Nerd is currently sick. On these nights, on Saturday nights, we do a show called Saturday Night Drive-In on his channel where we review old movies that are good. We just want some positivity in our life. So pretty soon here, once he's feeling better, we're probably going to do Raiders of the Lost Ark. And for my YouTube members, they get access to the member section of my Discord, and we have watch parties over there for the movies that I'm going to watch for Saturday Night Drive-In, so I can try to get Biggles over there to watch Raiders with me. And there's also other perks as well, like getting in the back room of gaming streams and access to members-only videos. And speaking of that, I have mentioned it a few times. There is a members video out this week for the full watch-through of The Witcher Volume 3, Episode 1, or Season 3, Volume 1, Episode 1. And because you all made my Witcher Season 3 review so massive, I'm actually going to be dropping something in chat right now for everyone. So everyone who has the setting turned on or can turn on the setting right now, please absolutely go watch that full watch along. If you're interested, jump in the Discord. You'll get a link to that. And just thank you all for doing this. I really appreciate how insane my channel has gone. This is by far and away the best performing week in my channel's history, with the best performing video by far. So I just wanted to thank you guys. And if there's anyone else in the chat who did not receive a membership and would like, I will drop some more in there, but 10 looks like that's roughly how many people are watching right now. So if there's more, absolutely let me know. If not, Just wanted to give back a little bit because you guys were so great to me this week, and I can't thank you enough. So check out all those perks now that you guys have gotten. And if you guys didn't do it, there should be a setting underneath the little icon in the chat to allow memberships on this channel.
Yeah.
But
I am also a member. I am a Time Lord, but I already had all the perks. So now you guys have the perks.
Yes, they do. They do have the perks. Well, I've run out of topics for today. I was hoping to go for 2 hours, so let me see if I can find anything else we can talk about. If anyone in the chat has anything that they would like us to talk about, Biggles, if you have anything you want to talk about.
I have a new obsession. It's the Pokemon trading card game. I used to collect them all the time when I was little, when they first came out, and I dropped like $500. And I've been playing Pokemon every day on almost every day on stream.
Mm-hmm.
But Pokemon has ducks too, so make sure you get your ducks. And quack. But yeah, I spent way too much money on Pokemon cards, and I've been playing like crazy. Like my cousin played for 10 years as a professional. And placed his best placement in nationals was like 12, and he's been in top 20 a couple times. And then my friend, that guy Travis, I don't know if he still does his YouTube and all that stuff. He's got invited to Worlds this year, so he just actually got back from one of the international tournaments. So they're teaching me how to play Pokemon. Have you ever watched Pokemon, Jed?
I haven't. No, my knowledge of Pokemon is limited entirely to the Smash Brothers games and the Detective Pikachu movie.
Well, if the rumors of you and Beardo being together, you're going to have to learn some Pokemon, because he is the 9-time back champion.
It's true. Yes, he is. That's how he introduces himself to women on dates. So yeah, I'm the 9-time Pokemon champion.
Yeah. I'm only a 6-time. I got to get on his level, but I didn't have the hardware to buy those 3 games. So more than likely, I'm going to play those games on like Switch or something, or on an emulator. That way I can be like, Beardo, I am now 9-time regional champ. I just had to wait till you left the region to go take the championship.
Oh, he would love that. Beardo would definitely love that.
Yeah, Beardo's going to come on my channel August 7th, and we're going to talk about Pokemon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Fun.
He's been looking forward to a opportunity to talk about Pokemon. He adores it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he's got to like host the G&G Mario Kart, so I'm going to like tell Jeremy he has to cancel it. No, just go cut his internet. Be like, sorry, Jeremy, your internet has been cut.
I mean, he's been having enough issues with the internet right now that it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, he had that one stream. Oh shit, another 10 gifted memberships.
Yeah, why not? It'll get some people who aren't watching. Why not? You guys were great. I needed to give a few more. I felt like a few more were warranted. But
so I don't even know if I have gifted memberships turned on, and I don't even know how to do it.
It's per channel, unfortunately. But
so
if you
I have
look in
to
the
go
chat,
yeah,
for you, let me open this up in a different profile real fast. But if you go to that chat icon, the gifted icon, there should be a little bubble underneath it with the button that says allow gifting. If it's off, if you don't see anything, then you're probably on.
Okay, because I never see it on any channel. Mine just says go to channel, report, or block.
So yeah,
every time I do it.
I mean, you're not going to get it because you're already a member, but
yeah, I know. I've just never received one on any of the channels that I'm like. I'm not subscribed to the main Geeks and Gamers channel. I'm subscribed to every other channel except for the main one. And I was like, no, I'm not giving you money on that one if I already am giving you a membership on the website.
No,
Which
that
is
totally makes sense.
funny because I have all the rights to do like all the stuff, and I have
Mm-hmm.
not been one to. I've not done any of those, like the premium stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
was in one where Krista was like, "I'm going to kill a hooker in Grand
Oh
Theft
yeah,
Auto," and she never
mm-hmm.
killed a hooker that round. So
She
I
has,
went
but
to
yeah.
a second one, and then she's like, "Oh my god, I ran over a person. Oh wait, that's the hooker." I did it.
Jesus,
It was funny.
I love it. Well, I've been looking for a new topic, and I haven't found anything. There's no real Doctor Who's right now. What?
I don't know.
I There's some stupid stuff, but it's not important.
Is
I,
there a movie coming up that's supposed to be good?
the next movie that I'm aware of that's good is Mission Impossible, and I'm very much looking forward to that. I adore the Mission Impossible movies. I like them a lot more than I do even most of the James Bond movies. But let me see if I can.
I've never seen a Mission Impossible movie, but I do own Mission Impossible 2, the video game, on PlayStation 1.
Mm. Yeah, the first one is my favorite, probably, and yeah, I think it's incredible. I love them all though. The second one is weird as hell. The second one is weird as hell, and the third one is a little bland. Not that bad, not that bad, and then it just gets better and better from there. I really enjoy everything from then on. But see, I can't add in an automatic redirect, so I'll have to do that. So for the people in chat, I'm going to drop the link to the members video that I've been referring to, the full hour-long watch party, if you're interested in watching us all suffer. So new members, definitely go check that out. You should have access to it. If not, let me know. Yes, you definitely need to catch up on the franchise, Paul. The last two have been incredible. The last two have been close to my favorite because there's the Rogue Nation, which I adore, and then Fallout, which has Henry Cavill in it. Henry Cavill is incredible in that movie. And then we have Dead Reckoning Part 1 coming out in a week. And then Dead Reckoning Part 2 is coming out next year. And that's supposedly going to be how the franchise ends. For right now, at least, unless they make a godless amount of money, maybe they'll come back.
There's a clip from the Mission Impossible where Tom Cruise was like, "Yeah, we got that in one cut, and somehow during the cut, Henry Cavill grew a mustache because he like goes and he like shimmies his sleeves down, and then as he turns, he's got a mustache."
He
And he
has
didn't
a
have it
mustache in the
earlier.
movie.
Yeah.
Was it there a mistake in there? Because
Well,
he has
no.
a mustache for the whole movie.
Yeah, but when they were shooting it, the mustache wasn't there. And then as he did it, as soon as it switched to the thing, he had a mustache.
That's impressive.
So they're like, it was the most amazing thing we ever saw. He did a thing, and then he had a mustache. So I think like something might have happened with like the lighting of the shot or whatever, and it looked like he didn't have a mustache, or like the angle.
Well, I found two little things that we can talk about, and those should get us over the 2 hour mark at least. But
Sure,
are you
let's do
fan
it.
of the 21 Jump Street movies or show?
The movies were kind of funny. I didn't watch the show. It was on before my time.
Yeah, I've never seen the show, but I also I enjoy the movies. They're fun. They're fun. But do you remember a certain love interest from the first movie, Jonah Hill's love interest?
Yeah, like the underage girl. That was really creepy.
That was a little bit creepy. But did you remember who played her?
No,
Brie
it was some
Larson.
blonde girl, right?
It's Brie Larson.
That's Brie Larson?
Yep. Back when she was good, she was fun in 21 Jump Street, and she was in Community for a little while. She was fun in that. And then as what's his bucket? Samuel L. Jackson put it, the election of Trump broke her, and that's when she changed. But according to a new rumor, there's going to be a 21 Jump Street spinoff with Brie Larson.
That was Brie Larson?
It was. Yes, and I enjoy her in that movie. I think she's good in that movie. It's one of the few times I do besides Community, but I'm not looking forward to this whatsoever. This looks terrible. This looks awful. Like, what is the point of a 21 Jump Street spinoff with Brie Larson's character? But does she become a cop and follow in Jonah Hill's footsteps and join the Jump Street squad?
Maybe.
I don't understand it. I think this is a dumb idea, just trying to capitalize off the sudden rise in popularity of Brie Larson over the last few years.
Is she going to show off her feet?
I doubt it.
So I know some people that will go watch it just for her feet.
It's true. I do know a few Australian bros who will eat it up.
Speaking of a few Australian bros, my channel Monday. He's going to be on my channel.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's not going to be devastating to your algorithm whatsoever.
It's going to be so much fun because we're talking about an anime. Yeah.
Sounds fun. Well, are you interested?
Fuck is going to be said a lot. I guarantee it.
Oh, it's the Australian guys. Of course, it's going to be said a lot. But are you looking forward to this movie at all, or this spinoff? Maybe it might be a TV show. Maybe.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I like Brie Larson's hair like that. It looks better curly than straight.
I don't think this. Oh, I guess
no. It was the reason it was curly in the movie.
Hmm.
I don't know. I think she looks better with curly hair than straight hair.
I would agree. I would definitely.
And you know what? She smiled in this movie, so I didn't know it was her.
Yeah, that's very unusual for Brie Larson, is being capable of smiling. But we'll see how this turns out. Oh, here it's saying it is a movie. So yeah, a Brie Larson 21 Jump Street movie. Maybe it's 23 Jump Street, or maybe it is just a spinoff. We'll see. I doubt it'll actually come to fruition, but there's always the possibility. I mean, Men in Black International, as they mentioned later, is a spinoff without Will Smith, and it still did fine. It wasn't good, but it did fine, as far as I'm aware, at least. So we'll see how it gets going. But
didn't it have Chris Hemsworth to be eye candy?
Yep, Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson were in it. It was a buddy cop between the two of them, and it wasn't good. Wasn't good. Okay. I mean, Tessa
the ladies had the eye candy. Either.
It's true. The ladies did have the eye candy. I mean, why do you think Aquaman 1 did so insanely well?
It was awful.
It was probably Amber Heard, right? Amber Heard's totally the reason why Aquaman 1 made $1 billion, right?
No, I watched that movie just to see Jason Momoa with his shirt off.
Oh, what an interesting way to tell the world that you're gay. Very creative.
Isn't it? Well, Jason Momoa is like Chuck Norris, right? He just ran out of women, right?
What?
That's how it works. I'll explain the joke later.
Okay.
He ran out of women. Okay, he's already been through every woman on Earth, so now he's on demand. He needs a new challenge.
A new challenge. Okay. Well, that's all the thoughts I had on this spinoff. You okay?
No.
Well, there is a last piece of Witcher news that I had heard about, but I forgot to bring up. So, did you see Blood Origin?
No.
No, you didn't. Well, if you remember in Witcher Season 2, they changed the origin of the Elder Blood and Witchers. They said in Season 2 that you need Elder Blood to make Witchers, which is insane in and of itself. But Blood Origin then said the Elder Blood was created by the first Witcher making a baby. That's, in case you're unaware, a paradox. Season 2 said you need Elder Blood to make Witchers. Blood Origin said you need Witchers to make Elder Blood.
Nice.
So that there's called a paradox, everyone. They can't coexist. They cannot coexist. And at the end of that season, the baby that we got, so the first Witcher had sex with a black elf bard chick who was annoying as hell, and she got pregnant at the end of it. And that was the last scene, was one of the last scenes at least, was her pregnant with the oracle Ithleen giving a prophecy about the child, and it's made up and stupid and whatever. So everyone assumed that was the creation of the elder bloodline that led to Ciri. Ciri was descended from this black elf and this first Witcher. And as much as anything can make sense in the Netflix Witcher universe, that tracked enough if you forgot about the whole season 2 Witchers need to be created by elder blood. But having her descended from this black chick made as much sense as anything could. Well, Lauren Histridge says, no, Ciri is not descended from the, what was it? The Lark was the bard chick's name from Blood Origin. So they made everything not make sense, and then they made it make less sense, and then they tried to cobble together something that almost made sense, and then in an interview she says, no, that thing that almost made sense isn't a thing.
There we go.
So it's all still just nonsense. It's still just nonsense. Any small intelligence that was left in their explanation for the Elder Blood and Witchers evaporated when she did this interview. She's not connected to the Lark at all. So where they clearly say it's the Elder Bloodline. So how does Ciri get the Elder Bloodline? Are there multiple Elder Bloodlines? They just made everything so much more confusing. How is she this dumb? Like, it's impressive to be this stupid. Like, she deserves to be an Olympic gold medalist in Idiocracy. And this is a joke I've made a few times, but I'm very much a person, not to get too political, but someone who prefers less government. When in doubt, I probably prefer less government. That's a general rule of thumb for me. But when it comes to Lauren Histridge and the other writers at Netflix, there needs to be an act of Congress, a resolution by the UN to ban them from ever writing anything ever again, let alone a Witcher product. They're that bad. They're impressively stupid. So she almost made a half intelligible, not a good, but intelligible explanation for the Elder Bloodline's creation, ignoring the changes in season 2. And then she comes back later and it's like, oh, no, that explanation isn't right. It's something else entirely. It's other nonsense. I can't believe I keep getting surprised by how stupid she is. I genuinely keep getting surprised. I should know better by now. I should not be surprised by her next level of idiocracy. I should know better by now. But what do you think, Biggles? Yeah, did that all, at least my explanation of it, make any sense?
So clearly, Ciri is related to the Eldar in Warhammer 40K, and those ancient space elf people came down, banged some chick, and then Ciri and her family were made.
That's right? About as good of an explanation as anything else that we've got.
There we go. Okay, yeah, that's what I think when I hear Eldar. The space elves from wherever we get.
It's Elder Blood.
Whatever, same thing.
It's close enough. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But am I frozen again? I think I'm frozen.
Yeah, you're always frozen. It's okay.
All right, then I'll just turn off my camera.
It's so nice you're frozen twice. Wait, is that still saved on my thing? I want to scare people with that. Okay.
Is what still?
Usually I have your picture copied and paste so I can just spam it everywhere.
Well, thank you.
But yeah, that makes no sense. I don't understand anything. That Lauren girl, she the quartering was like, I don't like this. And she's like, fuck you. And then they talked and he's like, oh, she's not that bad. And then she's like, I'm a fucking idiot. Look at my show.
That is as good of an explanation as any I've heard about Lauren Histridge.
Man, I wanted to give her credit, but season 2 was such dog shit. And then season 3 is even more dog shit that I got so offended while editing a video of me having to watch it that I was like, dude, you should pay me $200 pain and suffering right now. This fucking
Hey, I understand. I don't blame you for that. But it looks like, Paul, absolutely Blood Origin and Rings of Power ruined elves. It's completely ridiculous how both shows portrayed them. Opposite, in fact. But we've got a $5 super sticker from Athena. Thank you. It looks like keep it up. A pair jumping up and down saying keep it up. I appreciate it. And yes, once again, thank you all for the incredible support you've given me over the last week. I got over 12,000 views on my Witcher Season 3 Volume 1 review. That's insane for me. I know that's different than other creators, but for me, that is by far and away my highest viewed video. And I really wanted to give back with this stream and those gifted memberships, but I just can't thank you guys enough. And thank you again, Athena, for the super sticker. It's just a really good time to be on YouTube for me right now. I can't wait for the rest of season 3 to come out and see how you all react to that. And I appreciate all the support as always. But I don't really have anything else to talk about Witcher wise. Biggles, is there anything else you're thinking? Do we want to? If anybody wants to end the stream with me doing hot sauce, we can do that. If anybody's interested.
You said you don't have hot sauce.
I figured out there's some in the other room. It's not mine, but it is of equivalent Scoville.
You can't just steal her hot sauce and claim it as your own.
I have permission to.
Okay, fine.
No, it's not stealing.
It's not stealing.
So yeah, I believe there's Carolina Reaper and Ghost Pepper. So if anybody's interested in ending the stream like that, that would be a little bit of entertaining way.
That sounds fucking awful.
Sounds awful.
Oh, and I guess I need to step up my game because my best video was 3.2K and then my best short was 3.6K. And one was just me yelling about how fucking awful Apple TV is for baseball. Mm-hmm. And then the other one was watching Clyde. Watching Clyde get kicked in the face for accidentally looking up Riley's skirt in Valkyria Chronicles 4. He's like repairing a tank, slides out from under and didn't even realize that she was like standing right next to it. And like when he came out, he's under it and she's like, ah! And kicks him in the face, and I added Boom from the cartoon that he kicks him in the face. It was great. But I got to step my stuff up then.
Well, my highest views were similar to yours, what you're talking about, very much in that same area. So this is insane for me. This is 3-4 times as high as what my previous high scores were. So I'm very much in that same place. So you just need to find a lucky video, I guess, Biggles.
I know. I also need to find more than 223 people, but
is that how many subs you got? I thought you had over 350.
No, I have 200, and I mean, if you combine my two channels, maybe. But on Twitch, I had like 500 plus. I think it was close to 600, and then like Kick, I have 100 and something, and then YouTube, I have like 223. But I do really well view wise for the size of my channel. I just no one subs, so I need to figure out how to get people to sub. That's my problem.
Drop your link in chat. Everyone, please go subscribe to Biggles Mets on YouTube. Puts out a lot of great content, a lot of good gaming streams. Definitely go check him out and drop your Twitch as well if you're while you're at it. If you still stream over there.
Fuck that. I only go on Kick.
Okay, then yeah, drop your Kick in there, and yeah, everyone, please go subscribe to Biggles. He's been around this channel since its inception. In fact, since its very inception.
Yeah, I met this guy at a arcade, right? It was at the arcade.
Yes, it was an arcade for a arcade outpost meetup.
So Ryan was driving to move to Florida, and he's like, "Oh, we're going here," and like Ryan texted me to meet him there. And I was like, all right, sounds good. He was asking me where was a good place. And I was like, oh, there's this arcade bar that's really cool. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'm bringing Jed. Now, for those of you that don't know, there's another Jed. He's little Jed. And Jed is big Jed. And I guess Ryan was like, or Jed introduced himself to Ryan, and he's like, "Oh, where's Biggles?" Because he was like, "Aren't you the Jed that Biggles was driving?"
And I had
So-
never met him at that point, so I was very confused. But real fast, we've got another super sticker, a $2 super sticker from Dr. Rachel Lindbergh. It looks like it's of a dog dancing in hearts. I appreciate it.
No, it's the
Rachel,
Shiba Inu farting hearts, as culture says.
it is a dog though with hearts.
It's a Shiba Inu.
Shiba is a type of dog.
Yeah, that's the type of dog, and it's farting hearts.
So
Look, it's
my
the hearts are
explanation
coming out of its butt. It's farting parts.
It's still not an inaccurate description to say a dog with hearts.
Well, fuck you.
Well, fine then. And Rachel shouldn't be doing super chats or super stickers because I'm in her studio, so she's right now paying me to use her studio. But yes,
well, I don't want to know the other recordings you're doing. No, just kidding. Or do I?
All right, I'll keep the camera up because I keep freezing. But yes, thank you all in the chat. I think we're going to wrap up here right now. And yes, once again, thank you so much for the incredible support I've gotten on this channel over the last week. I was not expecting it. Honestly, this far and away blew away any expectations or even hopes that I had for The Witcher Season 3 Volume 1. And I'm just hoping that I can keep up the momentum and keep giving you guys content that you guys enjoy and just keep this going for all the many new subscribers and the many new viewers. And everyone, please, once again, go subscribe to Biggles Mets. Puts out a lot of great content. I don't know when the next time I'm going to be live. I am currently traveling. It might be Monday night. I'm thinking about trying to hook up a Zelda stream for Monday night. We'll see how that works out, but I'm trying to wrap up that game, trying to finish it. And I doubt I will on Monday, but we'll get close at least before I get back to my studio where
I can't make that Monday one.
All right. It's all good, man. And is there anything that you would like to plug this evening, sir?
So Mondays I do my new show. It's called The Biggles Breakdown, where I talk about things I like, because I don't talk a lot on my channel other than like talking to the chat when I game. I try not to like do videos on stuff that pisses me off, which is why I don't do a lot of like reactionary videos towards like current pop culture and stuff. But I'm doing 8 Eastern Monday nights. I do the Biggles Breakdown. This week is Neon Genesis Evangelion, joined with that Australian Lethal Lightning. And then the week after, Ryan Reaper, another Australian, and we're doing Goblin Slayer then. And then I got Damage and I, hopefully still, then Wicked, and then Fear the Beardo, and we're talking Pokemon. So that's every Monday. So I got to keep going. So maybe we'll talk season 4 of Doctor Who with you, even though it's not an anime, but we can make Matt Smith an anime character, right?
Well, if we're talking season 4, that's David Tennant. But I'm always
season
happy
5,
to talk.
Whatever, same thing.
I'm always more than happy to talk about Doctor Who with anyone, anywhere. So I'm always interested, man.
You know I don't count that first season of Doctor Who.
Yes, you hate Rose, and it confuses Rachel because I just got her into the franchise. We just finished season 3 with Martha. We're starting Donna's season 4, David Tennant's last season, and she doesn't get why you hate Rose so much. I don't either.
Rose sucks. Rose sucks.
Rose does not suck.
Rose is trash.
Who's your favorite Tennant companion? Rose, Martha, or Donna?
Donna.
Same. I am very much in that camp
and
as
then
well.
Martha.
But yes, everyone go subscribe to Biggles Mets, and I'm going to be putting out videos, live streams as often as I can while I'm traveling, and then back to the grind probably on Wednesday of next week, and we'll see what other shenanigans we can get up to in the intervening time. But thank you all so much for watching, and once again, thank you all so much for getting my Witcher Season 3 review to such a high bar, and I can't wait to see what further growth I can get and what further content I can give you guys, and I hope you all enjoyed as always. But that's all I have for today. I will catch you guys on the next stream. Anon. Take care, everyone.
Hey, yo, are you feeling what I'm doing up in here? Oh, I know you are. Do you miss all the good, compelling stories that we used to get back in Hollywood that they ain't putting down no more? Oh, I know you missing it. So check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern day mental illness issues, baby. Book 1, Down in Flames. Book 2, Apocalypse Then. These are currently on sale. What are you waiting for? Get your hands on them. And we got book 3, Kill the Dark, is coming down the pipeline. Just wait for all the good stuff this dropping. You ain't gonna be disappointed, fam.